long.
It's really long. I see it. Kristen's gonna have a field day with this one.
Can you guys drop me? Because
Can you send me the link to the group? Can someone send me the link to the group? Because I don't know if I'm in that group. Just look up Kristen K.
It's hard to get in. It's hard to get in that group if you're not in it. So you might have to screenshot it and send it to her.
She said it's long. That was my only concern. Hold on, let me look and see if. Let me switch to my personal. The page that I post all my videos on is Bench Slapped TV over on the Book of Faces, and then I obviously have my personal one, but let me try to switch this really quick and see if I can find it. Oh, thanks, True Crime.
The Justice one is not ran by Nicole. The one searching was ran by Nicole, and as last I knew, it was put on pause. There are a couple different groups, guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to send this to you, but I can't even find you when I go to send it through Messenger.
Nicole did say that she shut that down.
Oh, is it Nicole's group?
I don't think it's Nicole's group.
Rebecca Park discussion and updates.
The Justice part, I have it. It's 8 pages long. It's affidavit, probable cause, people of the same mission.
That's what I'm looking at.
Versus Bradley Courtney, with their date of birth.
And it's not what I've already received from the court.
No,
I don't think so. It got leaked.
Hold on.
Well, I mean, it'll be in the group. It'll be in the group of what they send me today. Then
this is what it looks like.
Oh, thanks, Amanda. Justice for Rebecca Park.
Affiant, a duly sworn police officer with Wexford County Sheriff's Office, attests to the following facts based on personal investigation or is swearing to the facts as presented by a fellow sworn deputy sheriff to establish probable cause that the crime of H, first degree premeditated, FM, tort, conspiracy to commit tort, assault of a pregnant individual causing miscarriage or stillbirth is all the charges. Removing an unalive body without the consent of the medical examiner was committed by the defendant, and affiant is respectfully seeking a warrant for the defendant's arrest. On November 4, 2025 at 12:44, Wexford County Central Dispatch received a call from Kimberly Sue Park reporting her sister Rebecca K. Park had not been seen since November 3rd, 2025 at approximately 23:30 at 30S 21.5 Road in Boone Township of Wexford County. Deputy Reed began Wexford County Sheriff's Office incident report as a missing person investigation. And then it goes to Courtney's statement, and where she reported that she was contacted by Rebecca's fiance, Richard Fowler, regarding her location later that night. Courtney informed Rich she did not know where Rebecca was and that she had left with a friend. Courtney was contacted by Kimberly Park in the morning of November 4th and was sent a screenshot of location where Rebecca Park's phone was pinging at. So it's exactly as they came on and stated. During the interview with Kimberly, she showed Detective Lieutenant Piscor at Blue View Brand Model 4 a cellular telephone, which Rebecca Park's phone on the home screen. Kimberly reported that she had looked through the phone and observed that the last communications on the phone reported a missed video call from an email address on Friday, October 3rd at 8:43 p.m. The last text message was on Sunday, and the last phone call was to Courtney Bartholomew on November 2nd at 21:14. Kimberly then played another voice message on her phone from Courtney, who can be heard explaining, "Okay, when Randy passed away, I was told that your sister had something to do with it. That would give Randy's family a revenge thing because she was involved with it when it came to Randy." On the message, Courtney suggests, "So Stephen Billett is connected to Randy's family, so I would definitely be looking at him." When I asked Kimberly if she trusted Courtney, she responded, "Not really." Yeah, guys, this is 8 pages long.
I got it. The court's, or someone's just sent it over to me, and the court just messaged me back. The court's, or someone's just sent it over to me, and the court just messaged me back and said that they're getting all the probable cause affidavits, the bond conditions, and anything filed on the case to the, sent it over to me, and the court just messaged me filed on the case to this point. She said it'll take her about an hour to get everything together, so I should have everything else within the hour, but it'll be for all 4 parties. And thank you to everybody who sent this over. Appreciate you guys.
I think this is going to tell us a lot more information, right? Like what?
Oh no, it definitely is.
Very
Oh my
detailed.
God.
It's
Well, it has
detailed.
to. Yeah, that this has to prove. So remember what I said. The probable cause hearing is where they decide whether or not there's enough evidence in order to move forward. It doesn't have to prove the case, but it's enough to move forward to prove that there are in fact possible violations or criminal offenses made. So this has to be to bound it over to the circuit court.
Yeah.
So this is going to list everything, which it very clearly does.
Yeah, this is the most detailed I've seen, and it goes into every movement from each person that's involved.
Yeah, this is heartbreaking.
So okay, hold on. So it says Courtney was contacted by Kimberly Park on the morning of November 4th, 2025, and was sent a screenshot of the location where Rebecca Park's phone was pinging at. Courtney told Deputy Reed that she proceeded down the road on West 26th Road where she found Rebecca's phone lying by the 2 track just off of West 26th Road. This location is less than 200 yards from 30 South 21.5 Road. Courtney checked the phone and thought Rebecca may have dropped it when she was using the restroom. What? Courtney reported that she took the phone to Richard Fowler's residence on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, and turned it over to him.
Kristen, go to page 8 or 9. Oh my, it goes into detail there. Brad and Courtney confessed.
Oh my God. Yes.
Bradley.
Oh my
Okay.
God, I'm not even there yet, and I'm scared to get there.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start on page 8. Bradley said that he had Courtney's phone on Monday, November 3rd, 2025. It is pointed out that there are, in fact, phone calls between both the phone he uses and the one Courtney uses while Rebecca is at the house. He passes these as simple calls checking on her comings and goings. He reports that he hasn't driven the truck since he parked it and that he only had enough gas to get to the gas station. Detective Lieutenant Pisker confronted Bradley's statement about the red stuff in the truck, confirming his knowledge that the truck has been seized. Identifying if there is any red stuff of Rebecca's found in the truck, there will be a big problem. Bradley is confronted if he thought Courtney had been lying to him about what went on, and he says he does. He suggests he can't see Courtney and Rich being together like that as they haven't talked in over 2 years. Bradley confirmed that there was no $18,000 checks. He did not know why Courtney sent images of the checks. He did say that he spoke with Kimberly on Saturday, November 1st, 2025, after their dinner that night had ended. He said she was asking about the 2 tracks behind the house. He denied that Kimberly told him that she needed to get Rebecca out of the picture. He identified that Kimberly had said this to Rich Fisher, who identified as Courtney's cousin. Detective Sergeant Hackman confronted that this is not what Rich Fisher told him when he interviewed him personally. Bradley reported that Kimberly is jealous of Rebecca and that he is aware that Kimberly has a relationship with Rich in the past. Bradley reported being upset when Kimberly was on the internet saying that he and Courtney were responsible, making a statement that he doesn't understand how anyone could do that to a pregnant woman. He answered that he believes that Courtney and Rich would be capable of doing something such as this. When asked for what purpose, he gave different possibilities. Bradley agreed that he believes that Courtney is capable of slicing open her own flesh and blood and taking the baby, and agreed that Courtney is obsessed with wanting another baby in her care and custody. He also agreed that it was a good possibility she could attack Rebecca and cut a baby out of her. Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked if he remembered the Sunday that Rebecca was in the hospital. Courtney saying or texting, "Don't you dare have that baby in the hospital," and Bradley remembers somebody saying it, but not who was saying it. Bradley confirmed going to Fowler's house on Saturday to take gifts to Rebecca that Courtney forgot to give her at the house earlier that day. While discussing being upset that Kimberly had accused him of being involved, Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked why he hadn't called him, and Bradley said that Courtney had threatened him that she didn't want him involved. His explanation was that she doesn't want to get incriminated or himself incriminated. Bradley began to say that he thinks that Courtney has more to do with it than what she wants to claim. He said all the evidence is pointing to her. He suggests he believes all the evidence would be in the white Ford. The red stuff he observed inside the truck is discussed and described. Bradley said that he removed the original seat covering about a week and a half after Rebecca went missing because it had white paint on it. When asked what he thought happened, Bradley responded he thought Courtney was jealous of Rebecca. He agrees that Courtney would like to have another child, and he also thinks Rich wants to get back into a relationship with Courtney. This is the most wild thing ever. Bradley agrees that he thinks Courtney could point the finger at him being responsible when we interview him. When Bradley is confronted with Courtney being in possession of the cellular device with the phone number 231-550-9134 when she went to pick up Rebecca, he claims he can't say that she possessed it, but it was there at the house and he had it to call her. He then confirms that Courtney did not have that phone when she went to Fowler's to pick up Rebecca. He reported that she got a phone when she came back from getting the white Ford. Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Bradley what else he wanted us to know about, and he told us that Courtney had scalpels on her bedside stand, describing them as disposable scalpels for Lansing's cellulitis. Bradley doesn't remember going anywhere on the morning of Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, other than to Fowler's to give him Rebecca's phone. Bradley confirmed that he had come to the hospital on Sunday, November 2nd, 2025 to bring Courtney her wheelchair, and that he was driving the white Ford pickup truck while Courtney was there with the Ford Escape. He did not ride back to Manton with Courtney when she drove Rebecca and Richard home. Bradley begins to show some emotion about the possible outcome of this investigation. Bradley is given a break at this point in the interview. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025 at 17:14, Detective Lieutenant Pisker and Detective Sergeant Voss conducted a recorded interview with Courtney Bartholomew. Courtney was read her Miranda rights from a Wexford County Miranda warning card. She confirmed her understanding of the rights explained to her, and she agreed to speak with the detectives at that time. Courtney identified that the dinner at her house on Saturday, November 1st, 2025, it was herself, Rebecca, Kimberly, the 14-year-old, and that Brad was hiding in the truck. Detective Lieutenant Pisker notified Courtney that this is an unaliving investigation and that the lies must stop, and if she lies, more charges can be brought. Courtney reported that Bradley is hiding in the truck because the girls won't come in if he is around because they don't like him. She reported that the dinner ended around 1900 to 1930 hours. The next thing that happened was that she called Rebecca about the items she forgot to get her, and that she and Bradley went to Fowler's to drop the items off. At that time, they were in the Ford Escape. On Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, she was supposed to pick up Rebecca and waited until about 18:30 hours, and Rebecca called to say that she was on her way to the hospital. She described the events at the hospital as she had previously. Bradley brought Courtney her wheelchair to the hospital. Bradley was driving the white Ford F-150, and she explained how he stopped at the gas station to get gas for the truck while she drove Rebecca and Richard home. Courtney wanted to know if Bradley could hear her, and she was told he could not. She reported talking to Rebecca Sunday night about getting shakes on Monday. She said that Rebecca asked her about the 2000 and said Rich was upset about something. Courtney confirmed the trip to Fowler's house on Saturday after the dinner to drop the items off for Rebecca. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Courtney why she wanted to know if Bradley could hear her, she suggested the need to back up, saying she thinks she needs immunity. Detective Lieutenant Pisker notified Courtney that the prosecutor is the person who can give immunity. Courtney suggests we get the prosecutor here, and Detective Lieutenant Pisker says he will want to know what she has. Courtney said she will give us where the knife is and where the baby is, and she will give it all to us. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker confronts Courtney that she has a guilty knowledge, she responded that she has been threatened, her child has been threatened, her home has been threatened, and she is done. Courtney renews her request for immunity and then asks for witness protection. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Detective Sergeant Voss explains we cannot offer immunity. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker asks Courtney if the baby is alive, she shakes her head in the negative. Detective Sergeant Voss asked Courtney about her prior statement that Bradley hides in the truck. He asked her where he hides, and she identified the cab. She described it as a single cab truck, and he laid on the seat. Courtney reported that Bradley had put $15 worth of gas in the truck when he sat at the gas station on Sunday night. Courtney asked if Bradley confessed, and Detective Sergeant Voss reported he told us a lot of stuff. Courtney confirmed that Bradley is using the phone with the number ending in 550, and her phone is the 429 phone. She confirms that she had the 429 phone on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that Rebecca disappeared. She said her phone was taken on Monday night, and she was told to go back to the house. Courtney said her phone was taken at about 30 hours, and she renewed her request to contact the prosecutor. Detective Sergeant Voss again told her we need to know what she knows to take it to the prosecutor. When he suggests an example that she will even tell us where the baby is, she interrupts and says, in the garbage in a blue cooler. Oh my God. When asked where she reported in the GFL, Courtney says he said he put him in a black bag. The cooler's gone. The cooler is Brad's work cooler, adding he put him in the cooler and drove up and down the road looking for a GFL that wasn't mine. When Detective Sergeant Voss asked why, Courtney reported that it was related to Bradley going to jail last year when Fowler turned him in. She explained that it was all in retaliation. She identified the night when they went home after their last interviews. She confronted him about the examination and his failure. Detective Sergeant Voss asked Courtney which vehicle he used to get rid of the body, and she identified her white truck. She then asked how he got her in a position to unalive her, and he explained how she pulled into her driveway. She had notified him she was on the road. She explained that she got to the house and it explained to Rebecca. So she got to the house and talked to Rebecca for a few minutes, and Bradley walked up and pulled her out and said, I want to talk to you. Courtney described that the white truck was sitting out by the road and explained she didn't think anything of it. You know, Brad was supposed to be her stepdad. Courtney wanted to know where they were going, and Brad told her to take her ass in the house and not to worry about it. She said she went into the house because she didn't think he would hurt her. Bradley is reported to have returned to the house at 22:30 hours and told her that he had taken Rebecca home. Courtney confronted him that he had not, and he told her that he had and that she would call her in the morning. Courtney asked him for her phone, which she reported he told her was out in the shed and went to go get it. I can't see because of the page number, but something when he came back to the house, he said, yeah, she didn't go home. Instead, telling Courtney that he took her to a house, but when she asked him to drive her there, he just told Rebecca, said to tell him she didn't want anything to do with her, meaning Courtney. Courtney reported calling Rich to tell him to call her back ASAP, and that while Brad was watching her, she told Rich that, dude, your old lady left with some guy, or Bradley would backhand her. Courtney confirmed for Detective Lieutenant Pisker that the story about the black car was made up and never happened. Asking her to continue, she reported Kimberly sending her coordinates to Rebecca's phone and asking Bradley why her daughter's phone would be across the road, and his response was, I don't effing know. She asked Bradley to take her to the phone and said he took her right to it, said that the phone was exactly where the coordinates is. She said it was out in the open and appeared that someone had just set it down. They took the phone directly to Rich's, but before their arrival, she said that Bradley told her, I'm telling you right effing now, do not say an effing word. Kimberly got the phone from Rich, and Courtney reported that Kimberly had called her and said she was taking the phone to the cops. She said Kimberly called her at 2100 hours on Tuesday night to tell her this. When asked to continue, Courtney identified that in her second to last drawer in her bedside stand, she had razor knives that she uses to nick open her cellulite so they would drain. She reported that one was gone, which she said she didn't know because she counted them due to a teenage boy living in the house. Courtney agreed the knives are like scalpels. When she confronted Bradley about the missing knife, she answered he didn't say anything. Then Detective Lieutenant Pisker confronted her that her use of the word then means he had to have said something later, and she reported it was after her body was found. Courtney said she kept asking Bradley where her daughter was, saying he answered, you'll find out soon enough. She goes on to report that after returning from his last interview, he told her about Kimmy, was asking about the woods behind the house to go to the trail riding. Courtney said Kimberly will not talk to Bradley ever alone. She reported trying to get Rich Fisher to take Kimberly's bag to her. She said that Bradley said, you can't have that. You're not taking her bag. He said, nobody's taking this bag. Courtney said she realized Kimberly's wallet was in the bag, questioning why he would want her wallet. Detective Lieutenant Pisker confronted Courtney that he had asked her for Kimberly's property, while she was at the sheriff's office on Tuesday and that she refused. She explained that she was told not to, suggesting she didn't want to get her ass beat. She reported that on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025 in the morning, Bradley took the truck and went on West 26th Road and was gone for about 20 minutes. She said when Bradley came back, she asked him if he had hurt her daughter, and he told her, no, I didn't hurt her. Courtney said that was the same day Rebecca's body was found. Courtney said that on Wednesday, November 26, 2025 in the morning, she confronted Bradley and asked him what he did. She reported he told her, I'm going to tell you once and I'm going to tell you and you're going to fucking drop it and you're going to shut the fuck up. He's like, I'm the reason your effing daughter is not here and your life is upside down right now. When she asked him why, she said Bradley said Rich effed with the wrong motherfucker. She agrees this is all a revenge plot. Courtney said that when she asked him what he did to her daughter, Bradley said, I slit her effing throat. The bitch deserved it. Oh my God. She goes on to say that when she goes on to say, yeah,
I can take over if it's too much.
I'm good. She goes on to say that he said Rich deserved it too, and it just happens to be your daughter that's going to pay for it. Courtney said that when she asked about her grandson, Bradley said, oh, I stuck him in a cooler and stuck him in the trash bag and threw him in the trash. Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Courtney that if Bradley is paying Rich back, why he cut the baby out. And she said because if he would have left the baby in there and had somebody found her before, he would have survived. And he would have thought, Courtney was asked why, and he would have thought, it doesn't make any sense. Courtney was asked why not just cut the baby out and unalive it, why take it? And she said that he told her the baby wasn't breathing when he pulled him out. Again, she was asked why he didn't take it. Now she answers it was because he didn't want Rich to see something were together. She admitted she didn't know what that meant. When asked about where the baby is now, Courtney said that he put him in a blue cooler in a trash bag and into a GFL container. She confirmed that she's talking about the residential GFL trash receptacle. Courtney said she was never at the location where the body was found because he wouldn't let her. She went on to say she doesn't know how many times he went to the location. When asked if she was unalived at the location she was found or at the end of her driveway, the answer is that she doesn't know. But she said it wasn't in her driveway because he pulled away quickly with her. Courtney said that he walked out of the truck and not in the house to get her out of the truck, confirming that it was from the escape and into the F-150. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker reminded Courtney that she knew where the knife was at, he said he threw it in a dumpster at Cadillac Shores. When asked when he had done that, she first announced that it was her hunting knife. She said it was probably like a week after the knife was put in the dumpster. She did not know what happened to the disposable scalpel, adding she had no clue and wished she knew. Detective Sergeant Voss asked Courtney what she was looking for in an immunity agreement and what she was afraid of, and then confronted her that she had provided a lot of misinformation to the police. She reassured us that she would cooperate the whole way. Detective Lieutenant Pisker pointed out her obstruction of the investigation, and she agrees. When asked about the seat covers, Courtney said that Bradley burned them. She also said that Bradley went out and cleaned the truck, specifically mentioning the dashboard. She described the cloth was burned and the bucket was taken back into the house. Courtney didn't think the floor in the truck was cleaned. Courtney was asked about Kimmy's stuff, and she suggests that Kimberly doesn't know anything. She was just trying to feel important. Detective Sergeant Voss confronted Courtney that she was the person who told us recently that Kimberly was in the black car. She reported that Bradley came up with that story about Kimberly. Courtney said she knew that Kimberly told us that she hit Courtney and hit her body. When asked how she knew that, Kimberly told us Courtney said that she told Ashley and reported Ashley as Rich's baby's mama. Ashley, Croweze, has a child with Richard Fowler. Courtney said that all that Kimberly did was lie to the police and had no involvement. She also said that Rich Fowler was also not involved, but did say that she didn't know if he had deleted anything from Rebecca's phone or not. Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked about a text message and about not allowing anyone from the state of Michigan on her property, and Rebecca saying that they should talk about that so she is clear on what that means. Courtney denied sending such a message. Detective Sergeant Voss asked when she first learned what had actually happened, and she said it was after the Sergeant Voss asked how Bradley told her how he unalived Rebecca, and she said, he told me that he slit her effing throat. When he asked how she told him about cutting the baby out, he said he had one of my scalpels. She did not found. Detective Lieutenant Pisker then pointed out that she could have covered herself if she had cooperated on Monday at Mount Pleasant. Detective Sergeant Boss asked how Bradley said he had one of my scalpels. She denied that he had said how he did that. Then said, he just said that I cut him out. That was it. And that was all he said. Detective Sergeant Boss asked about the baby getting cut out and being put in a garbage bag and put in a blue cooler and what he said about that. She said that he just said that he took him, put him in the garbage bag, stuffed him in a cooler, and threw him in a trash dumpster. She knows that it was a specific cooler because it was his work cooler and it's now gone. She shows the size as a lunchbox size cooler and described it as a soft-sided cooler with a hard plastic inside to keep the sides supported, and it has a black strap. Courtney reported the garbage bags came from her house, and she knows this because she counts her garbage bag. Who the fuck counts her garbage bags? And she noticed the 2 of her garbage bags are gone. This is weird as shit. The hunting knife is described by Courtney. I mean, this is evil personified. Like this, I don't even know if those are the words for this. The hunting knife is described by Courtney as being green, having a serrated blade on one side and a flat blade on the other side, and a fixable blade, not a folding knife. She is sure that Brad used the knife. The knife was purchased at Walmart within the last year, and she provided a description of it. When asked if she noticed any items missing out of Kimberly's purse, she didn't report any. Courtney denied that the 14-year-old knows anything. We took a break and moved Courtney to another room. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, at 18:27 hours, Detective Sergeant Voss and I began a second recorded interview with Bradley Bartholomew. We reminded Bradley that the rights we discussed earlier still applied, and he agreed that he was still good with it. Detective Lieutenant Pisker notified Bradley that Courtney was putting it all on him. He broke down the details that Courtney had provided. Detective Lieutenant Pisker explains how the investigation has come down to involving himself and Courtney. Detective Sergeant Voss explains how we believe it went down and how the evidence will support the investigation. An appeal to Bradley was made that he needed to tell the truth. Bradley is confronted with how much gas he put in the truck when he was at the gas station on Sunday after leaving the hospital, and he reported it to be $5. In Oregon Trail brand. He said it's big enough to hold an 8-pack of pop bottles. His description of the cooler is basically the same as Courtney's, and he estimates the cooler has been missing for about 2.5 weeks. Bradley is not aware of Courtney counting their garbage bags because of the 14-year-old using them. We confront Bradley that she is blaming him for dumping the body and putting the fetus in his lunchbox. It is explained that she is attempting to place blame on him. Bradley is confronted with a statement he made in his first interview that Rebecca was stabbed. Detective Sergeant Voss asks him about that statement again and how he knows she was poked with a pokey object. I don't know what I can say. Detective Lieutenant Pisker pointed out that both he and Courtney have reported on the scalpel and that you don't need to make a stabbing motion with a scalpel to slice someone open. It is pointed out that Courtney said he is threatening her, including the parking lot, prior to them leaving for their interviews on Monday. It is also shared with him that they identified it was revenge for Fowler turning him in last year on his SOR violation, to which he responded, "That's bullshit." It's explained that what Courtney has said to us about the baby being cut out of Rebecca during a revenge unaliving doesn't make sense. We reminded him of the NICU story and her attempts to get custody of Kimberly and Rebecca's children. Bradley begins to tell us, I'm sure Courtney unalived her because she didn't have a hunting knife. I'm sure Courtney stabbed her because she did have a hunting knife. He reported the case for the knife went to the trash bin and thinks it might still be in the bin. He identified that the knife went into the trash at the Cadillac Shores. He reports that Courtney is the one who actually cut the baby out of Rebecca. He confirms that he witnessed this and it had taken place right where she is laying on the trails behind the house. He confirms that this is the reason he told the officer to check the trails behind the house. He reported that he knew Rebecca had a bunch of leaves on her because Courtney buried her in leaves where she was found. Bradley confirmed that the scalpel from the bedroom was used. When he was asked if the baby was alive when he was cut out, he responded no. He confirmed that it was just the 2 of them that were present. When Detective Sergeant Voss asked where she stabbed her, where did she stab her, and Bradley said in the truck. When asked what location on Rebecca's body Courtney had stabbed her, he responded he didn't know as he jumped out of the truck. Bradley reported that Rebecca had gotten into the white truck voluntarily. He confirms that the plan to get the Tide Pods was legitimate, and he was unaware that the plan was to stab her. Bradley denied that there was a plan of any of this. While in the pickup, Bradley said he was driving, Courtney was in the passenger seat, and Rebecca was in the middle, claimed to not know what Courtney had told Rebecca to get her into the truck. initially Bradley was in the house with the 14-year-old, and he said he went out to get away from everything so he didn't have to worry about Rebecca coming in. He denied getting a phone call from Courtney that they were in the driveway. When he got outside, Courtney and Rebecca were in the Escape, and Courtney had said she blew out a tire on the Escape, so they got in the truck. From there, they got on the trail to the woods because the truck doesn't have a valid plate. Bradley said that Courtney was mad because Rebecca was always bad-mouthing her and wouldn't give her a chance to be a good mom or be a mom. Bradley confirmed that Courtney wanted the baby for herself. Despite Courtney wanting the baby, Bradley said it was unrealistic to expect that Courtney would be allowed to adopt the baby. Bradley described that the actual stabbing began when Courtney just grabbed the knife and started stabbing at her. The knife had been down on Courtney's right side. He said that she stabbed her in the chest and as far as he knew, but then jumped out of the truck when Courtney started swinging, so he wasn't sure. Bradley knew that they were on the trails and said he could take the officers to the scene. Detective Sergeant Voss asked at what point did they realize that Rebecca was dead, and he identified that it was after Courtney cut the baby out of her. He said that Courtney tried CPR on the baby. Bradley said that Rebecca was not in the truck when Courtney cut the baby out of her. He said Courtney tricked her to get her out of the truck and made her start walking after she had already been stabbed. Rebecca walked behind the truck but was unable to run due to her pregnancy. When Detective Sergeant Voss asked what Courtney did to kill Rebecca, he explained that Courtney had Rebecca lay down as she was still alive and she cut the baby out of her. Bradley said she was beside the trail telling Courtney that she didn't need to do that. That's not right. They did not have the bag or the cooler that the baby is eventually put in at this time. Now the baby is cut out. Bradley said that they just left Rebecca there. He identified that he couldn't tell if she was dead or not. Courtney decided that they should head to the house, and Courtney is holding the baby on her lap as Bradley drives. Bradley said the baby never took a breath and he never heard the baby cry. It took about 5 minutes to get back to the house. Bradley said that Courtney took the baby into the house and into her bedroom where she tried performing CPR on the baby, which is on a towel on the bed. He said she tried to perform CPR on the baby by doing chest compressions and breathing into his mouth. She said this went on for about 15 minutes after they arrived at the house. Bradley reported that Courtney went into the kitchen, got a garbage bag, placed the baby in the garbage bag, and went outside with the baby. He identified that the cooler was in the bed of the white truck and saw the baby go into the cooler. He explained that the baby went into the cooler because the cooler can just be zipped up and it had the baby in it, and dispose of the cooler had not been seen. Bradley said that same night he is with Courtney, who is now driving the truck, and they went and disposed of the knife first, and then they put the baby in a GFL tote at a house north of their residence where they had been doing some lodging recently. Bradley denied burning the seat covers from the truck. He said Courtney's the one that burned them. He did say he cleaned the inside of the truck using a gray bucket and some bleach and water. He denied cleaning the floor and believes there will still be blood on the floor of the truck. Bradley denied placing the phone on the 2-track, but again said he found the phone on the 2-track. He did agree that he had the 550 phone or 550 phone on his person on Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Detective Sergeant Voss confronts Bradley that if Courtney told him to do this, we want him to tell us now. He denies that he had anything to do with the stabbing of Rebecca. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Bradley about the card found with Rebecca, he said that he did not know anything about it and he could not recall what it was, but knew it was on social media. He did not see a card when he left the area. He also did not see another weapon or tools when he was at the scene or anything else. Bradley doesn't know if anyone has been to the scene where Rebecca's body was since she was unalived and denied that he had been back to the scene. When Bradley was asked about Rebecca not having shoes on, he appeared surprised by that. Bradley gives a description of where Rebecca's body was in relation to the trail and where things occurred. He denied that Courtney had asked him to position the truck so the lights would assist. He said that the lights shining around the side of the front of the truck was enough illumination for Courtney to cut the baby out. When he left, the body was still on the same hill. Courtney covered Rebecca with leaves but denied branches were placed on her. At the time, the baby was on a towel next to Courtney. Questioning the presence of a towel, Bradley asked if he thinks Courtney planned this, and he said, I have a feeling she did, but never told him of the plan. Bradley did not see Courtney place the towel or the hunting knife in the truck. Using a Wexford County map, Bradley showed the route of the travel that he took and approximately where they were. He agreed he could take the officers out and show them where things had taken place on November 3rd of 2025. While discussing if there was any blood on any of the clothing he or Courtney had been wearing that night, he identified that when they got home, Courtney had changed into a nightgown. Previously, he said that they had gone out and disposed of the baby and the knife that night. Now, when asking about this, Bradley says that the baby stayed in the cooler that night on the back porch. He now reported it was Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, when the items were placed in dumpsters, specifically because Thursday is garbage day. He said that it was Courtney who placed the cooler with the baby in it in the garbage tote. They were in the escape when they discarded the knife and the baby. Bradley said one of the things he believed Courtney said after she couldn't receive the baby was, "That bitch killed my baby." Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Bradley reported that he watched Courtney. The knife was placed in the glove box of the Ford Escape, and he believes that is likely be blood located inside of the glove box. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, at 20:50 hours, Detective Sergeant Voss and I began a second recorded interview with Courtney Bartholomew. As she enters the interview room, Courtney reports that she's ready to go home. When it's pointed out that she is staying, it's all Bradley. When asked what she thinks Bradley has been saying, she reported that he is probably saying it's both of them, and we confirm her statement and say that we know they were both present. Courtney denies that she wanted the baby all for herself. She admitted that Bradley brought the baby to the house and told her that the baby was not breathing. Courtney said she told him to call 911, but Bradley said that they weren't doing that. She denied getting involved and said it was because she had bent the 14-year-old and can't put herself in a position like that. Courtney reported that the day the drones were flying around, the baby was in the metal shed out in the back. Courtney said she knew Bradley was going to try to pin this on her because he had told her, "Bitch, I'll take you down with me." Courtney told us that the 14-year-old can prove that she was home on the 3rd. Courtney is confronted with her explanation that Rebecca willingly got into the truck with Bradley to go for a ride and that he then unalived her and cut the fetus out. When confronted with the cellular telephone data and location records, Courtney announces that Bradley had taken her phone so she couldn't call the police. Courtney is confronted with her version of events being difficult to believe. Eventually, Courtney said she's going to tell us what happened. Brad took her and he brought the baby back. I tried. I didn't. I couldn't. I tried. I tried to save my grandson and then began to cry. Detective Sergeant Voss asked how Bradley took Rebecca. Courtney said he pulled her out of the car and she got in the truck. Courtney admits that she told Rebecca she was going to come with her. She places herself in the truck on the passenger side. Rebecca is in the middle and Bradley is driving. Bradley has the knife, according to her. From the house, they drive where Bradley ended up stabbing Rebecca. She claimed not to know Rebecca was going to die that night. Courtney places Bradley across South 21.5 Road from their house as she is arriving with Rebecca. Courtney admits she knows something is going to go down because Bradley is on foot across the road waiting for them to arrive. She reported that Bradley approached the vehicle by just walking up on her side, grabbed Rebecca by the arm, and got her out of the Escape, and she willingly gets into the pickup to go for a ride after she told Rebecca, "Your mom's going with us." From the house, they drove where Rebecca gets stabbed. Courtney said that Bradley told Rebecca to get out of the truck while Courtney stayed inside. Rebecca is taken to the rear of the truck where Bradley stabbed her. At first, she said she assumed that he stabbed Rebecca because he came back with the knife all bloody. When Detective Sergeant Voss asked Courtney at what point did she cut the baby out of Rebecca, she answered, "I didn't, he did, and he handed him to me." Courtney also said the baby wasn't breathing and she didn't hear him cry. Courtney claimed to have never gotten out of the truck because she didn't have her crutches or her wheelchair. She once again claimed that this was a revenge plot because she had a sexual relationship with Rich and because Rich got Bradley put in jail. She claimed that Bradley wanted to hurt Rich. When confronted with the report that she stabbed Rebecca whilst driving down the road, Courtney denied it. When asked how all the blood got in the truck, she answered that was from the knife, then suggested that Rebecca got back into the truck. Eventually, Courtney admitted that she cut the baby out of Rebecca in an attempt to save him so she could take him to Rich. When she cut the baby out, Courtney said that Rebecca was still conscious and Bradley was holding the knife to her throat. She told Rebecca to lay back, "Your baby's going to die." Courtney denied that Rebecca had been stabbed while in the truck. Revisiting the driveway, Detective Sergeant Voss asked if Bradley held the knife to her throat to get her into the truck, and Courtney nodded her head in the affirmative. While in the truck, Bradley put the knife down by his left side. During the ride, Detective Sergeant Voss asked what is said to Rebecca, and Courtney said she told her everything is going to be okay. Courtney said she promised that Bradley isn't going to hurt her. When they got to the area where this happens, Bradley pulled Rebecca out of the truck, spun her around, stabbed her in the back 4 or 5 times. Bradley brings Rebecca to the side of the truck and is sitting next to the door, and Bradley ordered Rebecca to lay back. Courtney said she told Rebecca that if she doesn't lay back, her baby's going to die. Courtney looked in the truck and saw the scalpel, so she hurried up and did it, but her grandson wasn't breathing. Courtney said she started her incision along her belly, and Bradley told her to cut downward. It would be easier. Courtney reported that Rebecca is still talking at this time, telling her to hurry up and asking if he is out. She said she told Rebecca he was almost about out and that Rebecca told her to save him. When she got the baby out, Courtney said she had dental floss from the dash that she had put in her pocket because she knew she would have to tie off the umbilical cord. She reported tying off the umbilical cord the best that she could. Once the baby was out, she said Bradley slit Rebecca's throat with a knife. Next, she said that Bradley used a cord from the snowplow on the truck and hooked her body up to the truck and pulled Rebecca down the bank, maybe 20 feet, pulling her back off the road. He said he then covered her with the leaves. Courtney said the towel was in the truck already, but she didn't know how the scalpel got in the truck. Courtney talked about how she would have come to the sheriff's office if she had been able to give the baby to Rich to report what happened. Discussing this, she claims that since this happened, she hasn't been able to get in the driveway from Bradley. When reminded that on Monday she was in Mount Pleasant and he was in Grayling, she could have said something to them. Courtney confirmed that after she was stabbed, Rebecca never got back in the truck. She was asked how the blood got in the truck, and Courtney reported it was from the umbilical cord, making blood fly all over. Courtney said she never stabbed Rebecca, that she was only responsible for trying to save her grandson. When asked if she thought she could try and save her daughter, Courtney said she couldn't. When asked how many times she talked to Bradley on the ride to her house from Rich's, she reported it was only once. She identified she had the 429 phone and that the call they had lasted about 10 minutes. When Detective Lieutenant Pisker confronted Courtney with the 2 incisions she admitted to having made to remove the baby, she asked her if she thinks Rebecca would have survived those wounds. She said no, probably not. Courtney admitted that about 1 to 2 months prior to this having happened, Bradley researched the procedure for getting the baby out. Courtney said that Bradley put the items in the dumpster, but she was present in the Ford Escape for both. Courtney is asked whose idea it was to leave the items at the crime scene. She said it was Brad's. She then identified the items were Kimberly's debit card and a razor knife. Courtney reported these items were placed after Kimberly went on social media saying that Courtney and Bradley were responsible for the purpose of framing Kimberly. When pressed on the debit card, Courtney said it belonged to James Mercer, not Kimberly, and that the card came from Kimberly's backpack. She said she used one of the plastic bags from her backpack to keep from getting his fingerprints on it. These items were suspected to have been placed by Bradley the day before Rebecca's body was recovered. She said he left with the Escape that day for about 20 minutes. Detective Lieutenant Pisker asked Courtney to provide some information that isn't already known that can verify her statements, and she reported Brad said it was his, in reference to Rebecca's baby. Now, when it is questioned that they don't like each other, Courtney said yes, they do. Revisiting the conversation she had with Bradley a month prior about C-section, she reported that he looked it up on his phone. When asked why they were having discussions, Courtney answered because that's what he said was going to happen. She said he told her that he was going to cut the baby out of Rebecca right in front of Rich. Courtney said she brushed it off. What? When Detective Lieutenant Pisker commented on Courtney's story about having delivered a premature baby that was down in the NICU, she denied it, suggesting it was a friend's baby that she was thinking about giving up. As she is being confronted with the obviousness that there was a plan for this to happen, Courtney said Bradley told her to pull straight in, but she didn't. She turned the corner in her driveway instead. Questioning why he told her to pull in straight, Courtney reveals that Bradley had told her if he was going to do anything, it would be right there. When he does grab Rebecca, Courtney tries to get him to stop, but he said he had the knife to Rebecca's throat and ordered everyone to get in the white truck. While in the truck, Rebecca slid over to Courtney asking what was going on, and she said she reassured her that Bradley just wanted to talk.
It'll take forever. I'm really sorry I messed up your plans, Wanda. It's okay, Arnold. Sorry I messed
Energizer, can you mute? Sorry. Courtney described that Rebecca was calm just after having the knife to her throat to get into the truck. And that is the end of it.
Holy crap, man. Like, I'm just speechless. I don't even know what to say at this point.
I don't either. No, she wasn't alive into the 25th. This happened. These are multiple versions of the story. So this is the affidavit of probable cause. So these are the multiple versions of the story that Courtney and Brad told to the officers, but she was in fact unalived on the 3rd, and she had been out there ever since.
So basically, this document just got leaked ahead of tomorrow's court date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will be posting.
I just got it from the court also. Sorry, what were you saying? I apologize.
I swear to God.
it's not that it was leaked. I mean, somebody had to have done an open records request for it too, like I did.
That's horrifying.
Very, very horrifying. Oh, Lord, Dora. Dora, give us a word, Dora.
Jax, are you there?
Yeah, and Jax, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you okay?
No, but yeah. All right.
No, don't feel bad. I would have read it anyways. Literally, I just got it 2 minutes ago from the court. So Amanda's the one that sent it to me. So, and as well as a bunch of other people. I can't just, she's the one that sent it on Facebook. But like I said, I just got it from the court 2 minutes ago while I was reading it. So we just got it a little bit sooner. This is just insane.
Officer Doofy just posted it as well. So if anybody didn't hear it or got there at the end, Officer Doofy just posted in the comments. They did share it.
Insane. I'll be posting it also once I hop off here.
This is nuts.
Because the baby didn't cry, guys, because they unalived or stabbed Rebecca first, which obviously that's where the miscarriage or stillbirth comes into play.
Exactly. The baby
Or stabbed Rebecca first, miscarriage or stillbirth comes into play.
Exactly. The baby never
The
took a
baby
breath.
lost oxygen.
And on top of that, we're talking about a C-section. They cut the baby out. I guarantee you they didn't do it right.
No, you need to inflate
It'll
the lungs.
It'll be on TikTok, guys. And do it right.
No.
It'll be on TikTok, guys. Sorry, go ahead. TikTok and Facebook. But I just, it's insane.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So are they both saying that they did that to her out where that body was found?
Yeah.
And that it's been there this whole time for 3-4 weeks?
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
I don't see how that's true.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Was anything mentioned about Kimmy or no?
That she just lied to the police. The story was made up by them, and that's what she went and told them because apparently she wanted to feel important. It was the verbiage that Courtney used.
Okay, so explain the fresh tracks of the ground. Explain the no.
He went back out there. He could have moved something. that's just what they told the officers.
I know. I'm just
But
saying.
But Brad did say that he went back out there to place the card and other things out there. So he could have very well moved stuff too.
Well, we were out there that morning. That's what I don't understand. And why isn't there no what is it?
Decomposition.
Oh my fucking God. Did y'all just hear that shit?
I mean, it was cold.
It wasn't that cold, dude. Me and my cousin were just out fishing. It was 65 degrees the weekend before.
Well, that I don't know.
That's what I don't understand. I don't think, they're telling the truth about everything, obviously, but...
Probably not.
No, it definitely seemed edited.
I think they definitely moved the body in the truck, stored the body.
Yeah, I think
I mean, if not, animals would have had to have, done their thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way.
So it snowed after.
Right afterwards it snowed.
Okay.
Because don't they have a charge for relocating an unalive without a medical examiner?
Yes, they do. Moving a body without a medical examiner permission.
So they know.
But that could be for the baby too, because they did take the baby who didn't take a breath. They said, again, I don't know. I got to dig through what the court sent over. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Though?
God, I don't know. I'm so lost. I'm just fucked. My brain is fucked.
Same.
You guys,
They put the baby, They put the baby in a GFL dumpster at someone else's residence on trash day. So whether they've actually recovered that or not,
that would make sense then as to why they were
at the landfill, possibly. But
can I point something out, True?
Yeah.
something interesting, saying that it was placed in GFL. We know that the church being a nonprofit, and we learned that there's two different sites, and one of them's for commercial use. Who's to say they didn't dump that in the dumpster at the church, being that it would go to a different site?
I mean,
Because
quite.
they say it in there that it's at a home
Yeah, it says at a residence. Again, but again, this is what they are saying. So we're not going to know until the facts come out from the prosecution side. Remember, this is just the probable cause statement. This is the statements that they are utilizing in order to bring the charges that they are bringing. They have to give the who, what, when, where, why, and how to meet the elements of the crimes that they are being accused of. No, it's not Brad's, guys. It was no, none of that was said. The baby was Rich's. Allegedly, according to Courtney, this was done in retaliation for Rich turning Brad in for failing to register as a SO or for an SO violation. Brad's obviously saying that's not true, but that was Courtney's story. And then obviously Brad Kemp comes in and says a completely different story. So until the forensics comes back and the prosecution puts their theory together, which they're going to do, that's part of trial. So they're going to take everything from the probable cause. They're going to follow all those leads and the things that were told to them. They're going to run the forensics, run the data. They have the vehicles. They're going to run the testing. Again, they're only going to be able to piece together what they can, but that's where we're at.
I think counting the whole garbage bag thing. I mean, Brad didn't make any stupid statements like that. I believed him more, I think.
I'm so sorry that you guys have had to hear all these terrible things, and I'm so sorry that the justice system failed Wexford County so bad for so many years to allow Courtney to exist in this world free out on the streets because this monster, this human, what she has done to my family, what she did to my brother, what she did to her daughter, what she did to her grandchild. Like these are things that never should have happened because she should have been in prison years ago for everything that she has done throughout her life, all of the people she has harmed. And I am so sorry that all of you have to experience the existence of this woman on this planet because none of you deserve that. And
I'm so sorry.
I think that I think that there may be 25% truth in that statement that she gave to police because Courtney would never allow the baby to be thrown in a trash can. She wouldn't. She would need to visit it. She would need to have a spot where she could go because in her brain that was her baby. That baby belonged to her. And none of this, I am so sorry you guys, none of this surprises me. I've known for years that she could do this. She's that dangerous.